Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss a concept that is called reinforcement learning. So, before actually going to this concept, first we need to recollect the information by which the reinforcement learning process has been adopted. Before that, first we will discuss the machine learning concept. We have seen already what does a machine learning refers to. So as you know, what is the machine learning? Machine learning is a process in which it enables machine, you can simply say is that it enables machine, okay, in a way that it used to do the work by its own. It enables machine to learn by itself, with the help of the existing data which it has. So using that one, this machine learning process will be adopted in machines to learn by itself. That means it is something where an automation will be performed by a machine by taking the existing data, the previous data, what it contains. Based on that, it learns that how it can improve further for the next step. For the next time. So this machine learning process basically comprises of three techniques here, which is the first one is supervised learning. Then after that is unsupervised learning, and and the last is out reinforcement learning. So these are the types of learning that are a part of your machine learning. So supervised learning, in the sense, it have a label data, as that means this label data is as an input for supervised learning, and it gives the output accordingly. Okay, that's why it is termed as supervised data. That means there is a supervision, in a sense that the data will be in labeled form, and it will come to know what type of output has to be predicted by this kind of learning strategy. So that's why it is called as supervised learning. And in supervised learning, the it is the problems will be, which comes under supervised learning, will be divided into classification and association. Okay, and the next thing is about unsupervised learning. So unsupervised learning, there is no supervision at all. So that's why even the data as an input, when it gives, it will give as unlabeled data. It gives as unlabeled data. So that means the machine doesn't knows what kind of data has been provided as an input for that. So the machine has to give more emphasis on learning the data, type of data, the structure of data, what kind of data it belongs to, and it needs to identify what kind of data it is. Based on that, it has to categorizing that. So you can say something that whenever it is categorizing, so it forms clusterings. What it forms? It forms clusterings on that. So based on this only, it will predict the data accordingly. Okay, so that's why the clustering is a part of your unsupervised learning. Now the next thing which we are discussing right now is on reinforcement learning. So for this, this today's session is of completely on reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning, as I just now said you, that it's a part of your machine learning, right? And it is how it reinforcement is something here, the reward will be associated for each step, whenever it takes by reinforcement learning strategy. That means a reward is something will be given for taking the next step. That means, for example, if an agent is there from one state and it has to move from another state, from one state to another state, then there will be a reward system. So the reward will be provided, and this reward will be, it's something like it will be in positive or it will be negative. Okay, so this positive is something will be provided as a reward, and the negative value will be considered as penalty. What it considered as penalty, that means if the agent doesn't take the proper step for that, that means, for example, if an agent is there at one location and it can goes to 3-4 locations, multiple locations, but the actual is something, if the maximum value, that means the best part is to move from this part, so the maximum reward value from this side. And if it is something like, if it shouldn't be used this path, then there will be a negative value here, indicates that it will get a penalty. So by whenever an agent gets a penalty, so that means the agent thinks that it has taken a wrong step. So that what happens further, for the next time, agent will avoid taking that step, because agent knows that if I take this step, if I move towards left side, then what happens, I mean this is just an example, not only this, it anywhere the same system, the same kind of strategy will be applicable. So whenever if it gets a penalty, so this will be kind as an observation of data, and that will be used for the next time, so that this kind of step will be avoided further, so as to maximize the reward. Because if it goes in a negative way, if it gets a penalty whenever it moves from one state to another state, that means the overall reward value will be get decreases. So but the reinforcement learning is kind of strategy where the actions will be chosen in a way that it has to maximize the reward, in order to maximize the reward. So that is the reason why this is something like reward based learning. What you can term that as reward based learning. Why? Because every action what it performs will be judged to a reward system, a feedback system, you can say. So based on that, it learns further for the next time. So that is why wherever the the softwares which are being developed, are the machines always find the possible behavior to a specific situation. So they will always select the best one, because if say they select the best, then only the reward will be in a maximized number, I mean maximum number. So that's the reason why the reinforcement learning differs from the supervised learning. Supervised learning is something where the data, and that data is labeled data, and that is training data. Okay, and that has to know that what kind of answer key, I mean what kind of output has to be generated. Okay, but in reinforcement learning, you have to say it has to, if there are possible set of actions are there, and any of the actions the agent can take, but every action is associated with a reward, then the agent will always try to maximize this reward, so that it will take an action which suits for that. So in this way, what happens, training data set won't be there, but it will be learning from experiences, because one time if there is a penalty, next time the same thing will be avoided by an agent. Okay, so in that sense it will run. So the main thing is that how the reinforcement learning learns from rewards, that only I said you. For example, like here an agent is there, so this agent has to perform an action in an environment. So whenever an agent performs an action in an environment, so every action is associated with a reward value. Okay, and so this environment, upon performing an action by an agent, what happens in environment, it, for every action it will be rewarded with a reward value, and by that reward value the agent, I mean like it will change the state. I mean, if it is, what happens if an agent is there in state 1, and upon performing some action A, it changes the state to S2. So that's why what happens, it changes the state. Okay, it gets a new state for an agent, and also apart from a new state, it also gets a reward value. So based on this reward value, next time the agent will decide what kind of action will be suited for me so that I can maximize the reward. Okay, that means if whenever an agent goes for correct moves, okay, then the reward value will be in a positive number, and if it will be punished, in the sense it will give, they will gets a penalty if it goes for a wrong direction, or if it selects the wrong action, okay, or not so effective action. So in that sense this will works. Now if I take one example here, that how it exactly works here. For example, there is a grid, okay, here we have a 4 by 3 grid. So if suppose an agent is starting from a state called 1 1, right? Now what happens is that the goal of the agent is that it has to reach to the destination. So this is destination for an agent. Okay, now the agent is in the state S1, okay, and it can be something you can consider as, here you can consider a S2, S3, S4, right, S5, S6, S6, S7, S8, S9. And this is a state where, for example, a agent cannot enter because it has been barricaded, okay, by its boundary. So when it's barricaded by its boundary, so the agent may not enter into this state. So this is something you can call as a dead state, or you can simply say that the position called 2, 2 is unable to access by an agent, okay, by an agent A. For example, if I term the agent as A, so it cannot be accessed this portion by an agent A. And what happens is the agent should not enter to this state. Of course an agent can enter into the state, but agent should not enter into the state, because it is getting -1 over there. It means it is getting a penalty, because this is the +1 or -1 is a reward value. Whenever if it enters into this state, the agent will get -1 as a value. So agent should not use this state, should be avoided, because the intention of the agent is to maximize the reward. So when it maximizes, if it reaches to this state, simply what happens, the reward will not be get maximized here, okay. So because of that, it shouldn't enter into this state, okay. This state should be avoided, that is 4, 2, right? So in that sense, what happens now, there is a possibility that the agent can move like this from S1 to S5, S5 to S6, S6 to S7, S7 to S8, then it can directly goes to this destination. And remember, whenever an agent moves from S1 to S5, there will be some reward value will be provided, okay, upon taking an action by S1. For example, S1 takes an action up. So by taking an action up, it reaches to S5. By taking an action towards right, it moves from S1 to S2. So whenever it changes, it will get some reward value here. But here they have explicitly given the reward as +1 and -1 over here. So the thing is that overallly, if an agent is from this state, it has to move from the final states. So it has to select a path. It has to select a path in a way that it should maximize the overall reward value. What happens? It has to maximize the overall reward value. So that is what this, the reinforcement learning will tries to do here. So what happens if you say that S1 is moving towards S5, S6, S7? So based on the reward value for each state, it has to decide what kind of series of a sequence of steps has to be taken so that it can reach to this state. So what is that called as? That is called as policy. What it is called as policy. Policy can be represented by pi value. What this policy says, policy is something, a set of steps or sequence of steps that will be taken from the first state until it reaches to the last state. So that is called as policy. What sequence of steps? That means the policy is something like if it is going from S1, S5, S6, S7, S8 and finally to destination, or else you can have S1, S2, S3, again S4, again coming back here, then again it is going towards S9, S8, again it will be S1, S2, S3, S9, S8. So like that, multiple sequence of steps are been there, and that the agent has to select a policy which should maximize the overall reward. Okay, so policy it can contains multiple policy, but only the agent has to select an optimal policy. What is now optimal policy? What is the difference between policy and optimal policy? The difference between policy and optimal policy is that policy is something where we are taking sequence of steps to reach destination, but whereas optimal policy is something where if I take a sequence of steps overallly, I should get the maximum reward value. What I should get, I mean, agent should get a maximum reward value. So for that, it is called as optimal policy. So this is how the process it performs. So if you see the steps in reinforcement learning, what it will be, the first, the input in the sense like the agent should be in initial state from which the model will start. So like here we have taken 1 which is the initial state, right? Here it has been, so this is just an example. It can be various other examples as well in that it will be. Okay, so we just taken one example so as to understand the basic concept on reinforcement learning, and we need to understand that how this reward based system will be applicable with the help of with the help of choosing an action by an agent. Now output is something like there are many possible outputs are there. Output in the sense like it can contain multiple sequence of steps in order to reach to destination, right? So that is how the output. Your training is something based upon the input, the model will return a state, okay, and the user will decide to reward or punish the model. So now what I said, if for example if an agent reaches to this, the grid model itself says that it will be get rewarded with a penalty. Okay, we should say as a penalty, okay, by taking the action which is not good for the given reward for the given example. So here, so that training has to be given. So this model keeps continue to learn. How it keeps continue to learn? Because for example, like if it takes this path from S1, S2, S3, S4, again it is going to S9, coming back again, because here there is no place is available to move on, and here it has to be avoided, and here again it come back, again it goes to S9, S8, then in this way again it takes second step. So every time it will be it will get learned that you for next time it will avoid taking S4, because it finds that if I take S4, if an agent saying S4 means I need to again come back to S3 only. So like this, that means the performance will be get improved for the multiple number of times. In that sense, the model actually keeps to learn here. So the best solution is decided. How the best solution will be decided among the given paths, among the given set of policies, how the optimal policy will be decided based on the maximum reward value. That's very important part here. Okay, the maximum reward value will tell us that which is an optimal policy, or else we can say that which is the best part, which is the best solution in order to have a maximum reward value. So that is how I said you policy just now, right? Policy will be denoted by pi. So that will be something like it shows the sequence of steps or states. Okay, each step contains one state. By taking an action, any action, if let us assume that an optimal policy is something where you are maximizing the long-term reward. Okay, that is it means. Now coming back to the here in learning, reinforcement learning, there are actually two types of reinforcement learning. What is that? Active learning and passive reinforcement learning. So what is there in passive reinforcement learning is the agent's policy is fixed. That's a thing here. Policy is fixed here. Okay, which means that it is told what to do. I mean, it because of passive reinforcement learning, the agent will says that the fixed policy means there won't be, the policy would not be going to be get changed here. Okay, the policy, that means the sequence of steps will not be going to be get changed, and in that it is told what to do. So in what happens, this is about passive reinforcement learning. But if you go with active reinforcement learning, what happens, an agent needs to decide, agent needs to decide that if there is no fixed policy, what to do if there is no fixed policy. That means it has to learn, it has to execute, okay, it has to take an optimal policy. So optimal policies associated with reinforcement learning, okay, because in passive reinforcement learning, agent will execute fixed policy. Fixed policy means fixed sequence of actions will be taken, and what happens, it will evaluate that, based on that only it will evaluate. But whereas in active reinforcement learning, an agent is to act and learn an optimal policy. That means in every step, so the main part, actually the main role of reinforcement learning will be did by active reinforcement learning only. Why? Because active reinforcement learning will try to find out an optimal policy, okay, it will learn and it will get it will try to get the optimal policy. So that is what it means. That so in passive reinforcement learning, as I said you, that policy will be denoted by pi, and here it is, S represents for set of states in which which is a part of your policy. So here the agent policy is fixed here. So agent is therefore bound to do what the policy dictates. Based on the policy only, the agent has to execute its actions, okay, although the outcomes of agent actions are probabilistic, because no one can say, right? So it's something like it is probabilistic in nature, but still the agent has to, the agent has to do in a way where the policy will dictates what the policy says, because here the policy doesn't change because it's fixed in nature. So what happens here is that the agent may watch what is happening. So the agent knows what state the agent is reaching. Okay, and so based on that, because agent knows that what state the agent is reaching, in the sense that agent also knows that what kind of rewards agent will get for taking that step. Okay, so for that there are three techniques here that will be performed by passive reinforcement learning, which is direct utility estimation, adaptive dynamic programming, and temporal difference learning. So these are kind of techniques which are being adopted as part of your passive reinforcement learning. Next is about active reinforcement learning in techniques. So here, as I said you, that the reinforcement learning in active reinforcement learning technique, the policy which is represented as pi of S is not at all fixed, right? It is not constant. It will be changing every time, because here the agent is not bounded on existing policy, and it always tries to act and find an optimal policy. Why it will be finding an optimal policy? The reason behind is that it needs to calculate it, how it will be performed by how it will get the optimal policy by calculating the overall reward value. And the intention for taking optimal policy is that it has to maximize the overall reward value. Okay, so that's why the main part of reinforcement learning actually will be done by active reinforcement learning process. So the techniques are Q learning and ADP with exploration function. So these are the techniques which are being performed by active reinforcement learning. Now if you go with the applications here in reinforcement learning, so there are lots of more applications, but I have just given you some of the applications. So by that you can understand that how reinforcement learning is used are using in different kinds of fields, such as if you go with in industrial automation, that means in industries the work which has to perform will be done by robots, and this robots will be implemented by a technique called reinforcement learning. Okay, every time it will learn by itself and it tries to find out the optimal policy in that, so that the overall efficiency will get increases by robots for every step of execution. Okay, so that's why the industrial automation, that means automation of industries, has been done with the help of robots by using reinforcement learning techniques. Okay, not only that, well, it is also using in business strategy planning. So many softwares has been developed in order to give an effective strategy planning for overall taking the business decisions. Okay, and also it will be used in machine learning, because anyhow the reinforcement learning is a part of your machine learning. So any kind of machines, mostly they focus on reinforcement learning, because even our human also, if we don't know one initially, we will try to rectify it by taking the mistakes what we have did previously. So accordingly the machine has been taken into consideration. So by that the machine will be get rewarded or it get penalty. So based on, if it gets penalty, so next time the machine tries to avoid that kind of step or that kind of action by which it is getting a penalty. So in a sense, that machine will always tries to improve its efficiency. So not only in machine learning, but as well it is using in data processing. Okay, in order to get in order to improve the techniques to perform data processing. Not only in that, there are various software tools or online tools are available where the students can get the course or the content by which the students can learn by themselves, and it finds very easy for them because there is remotely they can learn the things, okay, wherever they are. So it is also useful for students, for anyone, okay. And also here in the lastly is it will be used in aircraft and in robot motion. Okay, robot motion control, in the sense like the steps what the either the aircraft or the robots will perform. So there will be a controlling mechanism will be, that means the controlling mechanism will get improved, okay, for every step of execution. So in a way that in this way we actually are implementing reinforcement learning in various kinds of domains, various kinds of fields. Okay, so this is how something regarding about applications of reinforcement learning. Okay, so this is how the basics on the reinforcement learning. So what is that is, first we have seen that reinforcement learning is a part of your machine learning. Also we have seen that here how it learns from rewards. Okay, how the rewards will be provided in terms of penalty or in terms of a reward. So based on that it will take the decision, and there will be a policy associated for each and every agent, and the thing the intention is to optimize its policy by taking an optimal policy so that the maximum reward value get increases. And in that we have seen the types of reinforcement learning as well, and we have seen the applications. Okay, so with this I conclude this today's session. Thank you.